Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. I know you guys love this show, so do I. This is our series, Broker Pains. Broker Pains, you guys are all feeling it. You have lots and lots of topics I know you want to discuss. And we have our expert here, Marion and Yvonne. We have two experts, and then I don't know what I'm here for except to have a good time with these ladies and learn. So today we're going to talk about ways to improve profitability, which I know is a big topic in this day and age. All brokers seem to be making a little more money, but the real estate market is hot. And so these are ways for you to increase, maybe take a look at your profitability and what's in your budget. And we'll talk to the one and only Marion. Marion, welcome. Welcome, Yvonne. You guys tell us, introduce yourselves. We'll start with Marion, and then let's get to it.
Hi, Ted. Thanks so much. I'm Marion Weiler. I'm the founder and owner at Weiler International Business and Leadership Consulting. And I advise executive teams and brokerages to support the growth that they're aiming for and increasing that brand loyalty because it's so important internally and externally. So excited about this topic today.
Yes. And we have the one and only Yvonne Sandoval. What's up, Yvonne? Tell us just a little bit about you.
Sure. I am the owner of Leverage 365. We are a marketing firm that helps agents achieve top-of-mind status with their database of contacts, as well as I am an educator who will teach for brokerages as well as organizations, mortgage lenders, title companies, and such, to help agents to grow their business.
Fantastic. And you guys all know I'm Ted Bogert with VIP Mortgage Group. So I love this show. I did get feedback. I told you before we went live, people are like, great show, great show. So we're going to continue to talk about the topics that Marion, of course, is the expert on and has run into in her consulting. And today it's ways to improve profitability. So when we're talking profitability, Marion, define that? Because I think everybody has their own version of what that means. And in reality, it should be kind of a foundational thing that you really need to get right.
It is a foundational thing because it's really, when you look at it simply, it's the money that comes in and the money that goes out. You can have a lot of money coming in, but if you lose control over what is going out, or you're unclear what's going out, or your cost is just too high, your profitability is going down. And so over the years, what has happened is when you're looking at higher commission splits, you're looking at more investments on the tech side or various other sides or bonuses or whatnot you might be dealing with financially, then at times they don't catch what's coming in. And so that's the really, in very simple terms of making sure to understand, where are you in this mix, right? Are you making money and still being profitable? And then, of course, there are different ways on how you can improve that, which is what we're going to talk about today.
Well, good. Ways to improve, because that's what people want. Now, Yvonne, you are a budget item, a line item on many realtors and even brokers' budgets. So tell us, from your perspective, what are you seeing out there? Are you seeing people are redirecting some of their spend on marketing and branding? Or what's going on? What's the feedback you get? Because you are a cost, and it's good to get your perspective.
That's a really interesting question. Yeah, I see brokers spending money on tools, and I'm being basically in a kind of a consultant manner, as well as an actual marketing tool for their agents. And they're being very particular about what they're spending. So they are keeping it close to the vest, and they're trying to provide value to their agents in a way that the agents will find value in it. So between websites and CRMs and marketing tools, I think that there's just kind of a rush to get something in place, and they're not usually really investigating if that agent wants that tool, or if that tool is effective for the business or is in line with their goals. So I think that that's what would help with profitability, is if that they do a little bit more investigating on what the agents are looking for, what they're actually going to use, because a lot of systems that they put in place aren't being utilized. And that is actually not, that's a cost. That doesn't become a profitability factor.
That's a great point. I want to go to Marion on that because I think people, brokers, owners, people who are in charge of spending the money, they don't always poll their employees. They don't always have the tools. They might want to improve it, but they have no idea about the in and the out part, what's bringing in money. They're tracking. There's not a lot of accountability or tracking. And so the brokers, the owners, the real team leaders, they're going in and just willy-nilly picking things that they think might be helpful, when in reality, that's, like Yvonne's saying, that's just this added cost that nobody's utilizing that could have been redirected somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Those are great points, because really what Yvonne was just talking about is the intentional management. And as a very first step, when we go in, is to do an assessment of what's actually in place, because let's not get this confused to say, oh, we don't invest, we don't spend any money. And I've seen that many times where we are randomly starting to cut cost and really are ruining our business in the process. That's not the idea here. So I want to make sure we are all on one page. We're not saying, oh, let's cut out whatever cost. There needs to be an intentional approach to that, where we see what is actually moving the needle and where's the return on investment. So when you're looking at tools or you're looking at consulting, you're looking at help and resources that are actually moving the business forward, both on the brokerage side and on the agent side, that's where you want to be. But in order to do that, you need to get an assessment and get really crystal clear on what do you actually have in place. And that's the intentional component versus constantly reacting to what is coming. And I've seen that many, many times when brokerage owners are, this agent says, oh, we need to have this, right? They have this over here. We need to have it. And then that agent is never adopting it. They're actually never using it. The next agent says, oh, we need to have something else. And the brokerage owner, in an attempt to actually make them all happy, makes nobody happy, because now they're hearing, oh, here comes another tool. We have to learn who has time for training. We're out in the field. And now you're in the rat race, right? You need to get out of the rat race for two reasons. One is you want to keep your sanity. And the second reason is you want to retain and attract agents. So you need to have things that are actually in line with, to Yvonne's point, your goals, your strategy, even your business model.
Yes.
Right. That's a whole other conversation. But that assessment and intentional work has to take place first. And then we can start looking into, now, what is the cost associated to it? I always call it the must-have cost and the nice-to-have cost. And I think, Ted, you and I have been talking about that before, right? Not all cost is the same. You have to invest in your business. If you're not investing in your business, regardless, brokerage level, agent level, you're not really in business.
Let me ask you, because I know this has come up in many conversations, not with you all, but out there. People have a knee-jerk reaction when you are in crisis management mode. Instead of being proactive, you're reactive. They'll want to cut the biggest budget line item, whatever that is, no matter what, whether it is the thing that grows the company. They just think that cutting things arbitrarily that look like a big number on a budget will be a positive impact. And I find that's not always true. What's your perspective on that?
It's not always true. And it comes back to that intentional. If you are cutting out if you're cutting the livelihood out of your business, then you have no more room to grow. And it's like, I always compare it with sports. You don't want to be on the defense. You want to be, especially during crisis mode, you want to be on the offense. And that requires a certain level of trust. And again, an intentional management to say, okay, if I cut out XYZ, what kind of consequences is that going to have? Because if you're losing agents over that, if you're losing business, if you're losing potential revenue coming down the road, and that's where a certain level of courage is required there too, to say, you know what, I know this is scary, I know this is uncertain, but here are our goals, here's our plan, and let me see what else I can take out, because there are, in my experience, so many line items that either we don't even realize that they're there, or we have redundancies, they're doing similar things, or we could go back and really figure out which tools are actually adopted in the field. And tech is huge. Tech is probably one of the biggest line items. And again, I'm not saying get rid of all of your tech. I mean, that would be silly to do. It's just to give you an example. One time I have seen multiple tech that did the same thing, $15,000 per month each, unutilized. Nobody knew. And so it just flew under the radar. And if you're looking at these kinds of tools, these kinds of savings, then you're really moving the mark on the profitability side, and you're in a much better place, that even if you do need to invest into something, because after every downside comes an upside. So you can't lose track of that. You can't lose track of there will be a after tomorrow, and you have to be ready for that. So that's something to keep in mind here.
When you, Yvonne, when you are piggybacking on that, when you are consulting with, say, a big team leader or a broker, and they're trying to figure out I want to refer to your services, because your services are so important. And I think you've seen the challenge. Sometimes people are like, well, that's money that I not necessarily want to spend, but I really want you to do it. And actually what they're asking for you to do it is free, I know. But we can't operate our worlds like that. How do you address that with them? Because this kind of stuff, you have to look at your investment. You have to, I think brokers and team leaders have to stop just throwing money at everything and hoping something sticks and something makes somebody happy somewhere.
Right.
What are you seeing, Yvonne?
Well, I have the unique perspective because I work boots on the ground with agents and brokers. So I'm hearing both sides of the coin. And because of that, that gives me a unique perspective. Essentially, I have a business because brokers fail to provide tools at the level that I can provide. So, yes. But that doesn't mean that brokers don't work with me because they see the value in the tools that I bring. So when it comes to that perspective, I'm looking at the agents, and I will ask a room, and you and I did this. Yeah. We had 61 people in the room, and we asked them, your broker provided website, how many of you believe that your customers are searching for homes on your broker provided website? And we had 0 hands get raised in the room. They all understood that where people are going to search for homes is on Zillow and Realtor.com. So, here's a tool that if I was a broker sitting in the room and that question was being posed, I would be looking at my profitability again, because I'm providing this website for these agents, and they just told a room full of people that no one's searching for homes on that site. So why am I spending money on this website? So, these are the kinds of things that because I work with both sides, I see, the frustrations from the broker. And then I also hear from the agents that they're not utilizing the tools that the broker is providing. So how can we bridge that gap and get those two sides to help each other to grow each other's businesses? And that's, a big part of what we're doing the show for.
Well, yeah, I think brokers are, they want, it's a money making, people are making money now in real estate and have been even during the pandemic. But I think they see the writing on the wall. And so that money can't last forever and ever. And they're really trying to figure out where all the money's going, which Marion referred to earlier. I personally think that's one of the biggest problems, is not tracking or accountability or having any idea what's coming in and what's going out. Marion, what if there's a broker out there or a team leader out there who's saying, all right, where do I start, Marion? What's the first 1 or 2 things that I need to do other than get a consult time with Marion and Yvonne? That should be number 1 always. But after that, what are the top 2 things they should start with, looking at beginning to improve their profitability?
The assessment piece is where you start. Start running a report. Every or all the major brokerages, they have some kind of reporting tool that you can see what is actually, where are your cost centers, and even adoption rates. Those are the two things. If you're looking at the tech side, you see that a lot of them are pretty large cost items, and marketing actually too as a secondary. And marketing is a unique one because it is large, but you need marketing in order to really create a thriving business and get the word out and create a brand awareness and a perception and an image for yourself as a brand, but also your brokerage. So looking at that assessment, running some reports, taking a look at where are actually your big cost centers, and then run a report and see who, if it is tech, who is utilizing this tool. And then if you realize that it is an important tool, but maybe the adoption isn't there, then you need to start with integrating. What does that mean? How can you perhaps train your managers? How can you help them enforcing what you want to do on a corporate level? Because without your managers in the field who are going to then work with your agents, it's going to be very difficult to manage all of that from a corporate setting. Now, if you're a smaller brokerage, then that makes it a little bit less complex because you're closer to the agent and you're actually you're getting the feedback. And I'd say don't be afraid to get the feedback, but then at the same time, evaluate the feedback, because everybody is going to have an opinion. You'll never make everybody happy. So ultimately, you need to decide for your brokerage, is it aligned with your goals? Is it aligned with your strategies, where you want to be, the agents, the culture within your office, and then make decisions based on that.
Beautiful. All right. So you guys, if you have questions for us, you have something you want to talk about, a topic, we're going to continue to do Broker Pains every week, Wednesdays at noon. So tune in, reach out to me or Marion or Yvonne. And before we go, Yvonne, what's the best way they can reach you and learn more about Leverage 365?
Get leverage365.com, or you can always call or text me at 407-915-8000.
How about you, Marion? What's the best way?
On my website, WeilerInternational.com, you send me a message, but I'm also really active on LinkedIn. So send me a message there, reach out, follow, connect, and looking forward to talking to everyone.
And y'all know where to find me, VIPmortgagegroup.com, or I'm on here all the time, so reach out. But seriously, brokers, team leaders, even realtors, if you have a question and you want to pose it to us, we'll talk about the topic. And even if it's not on the topic of the week, if you send it to one of us or to me or any of us, I will make sure it gets asked and answered. Thank you, ladies, so much. I love this show. We'll be back next week, everybody. Broker Pains, Wednesdays at noon. See you later. Bye-bye.